5-star edge rusher Elijah Rushing has committed to Arizona. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master Football back at it again. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be up to date on everything college football, pro football, Madden, EA college football, NFL draft, anything related to American football, hit the red subscribe button. You will not be disappointed. Also the like button too, and then follow on Instagram as well. Not on Instagram, excuse me. Follow on Twitter as well. Twitter fam is growing. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. Can't believe I referenced Instagram. I don't even really post on Instagram. But anyways, follow me on Twitter. But continuing on with what we want to talk about today, I don't think Jedd Fisch understands that he's supposed to get in line. He's not supposed to be doing the things that he's doing out there. He's not supposed to be making waves in college football. You're Arizona. Yeah, you had, Rob Gronkowski one time graduate from you, blah, 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 whatever that whole situation. So you're Arizona. You're not supposed to be making big waves. Well, Jedd Fisch didn't get the memo because he is doing it right now. So right here from 247 Sports in the class of 2024, breaking 5-star edge rusher Elijah Rushing has committed to Arizona. He says Rushing here chose the Wildcats over Oregon, Notre Dame, and Tennessee and becomes Arizona's highest ranked commitment ever. So the local prospect, and keep it, that's very important here because of one thing that is really important. The big reason why the SEC is so much better than every other player or team out there is because they're just close to the players. The players are close to them. So one of these things that these teams out in the West Coast, teams out in the Northeast, things like that. If you expect to be good, you got to be able to get the guys that are close to you. Arizona is in Tucson. He's from Tucson, Arizona. 5-star player commitment today. 7/6/2023. Again, for you, actually, it's going to be yesterday. But again, we mentioned a couple of teams that he picked over here. He is the number 8 player overall in 247 Sports' ranks. He's the number 1 edge player and the number 1 player in the state of Arizona as well. You come down here and see what he's got. First of all, let's go into this complete list because this complete list as to who Arizona beat is absolutely shocking for this guy. So Notre Dame, Oregon, Tennessee, UCLA, Auburn, Cal, Clemson, Colorado, Florida, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Kentucky, Louisville, Miami, Michigan, Michigan State, Nebraska, North Carolina, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Oregon State, Penn State, Stanford, Texas, Texas A&M, USC, Utah State, Utah, Washington, and Wisconsin. He picked every single one of those to be at his hometown spot to play for your boy, Jedd Fisch. Now, it's really interesting, and I was able to look through some things here that I'm going to show you right now because Jedd Fisch is kind of a complete enigma when it comes to college football. He's not really a college football guy. He's been in the pros a little bit. He hasn't really been anywhere for very long, but he's making waves in college football right now. We can check out his history. So over here on Jedd Fisch, and again, so right now he is 47 years old from Livingston, New Jersey. My alma mater was the University of Florida. He did not play. He was college roommates with Philadelphia Eagles general manager Howie Roseman. So he was, he graduated with a criminology degree. He attended Florida almost solely for the opportunity to someday work for Florida head coach Steve Spurrier. We come down here and check out what he's done with his history here. So in 1997, he starts at P.K. Young Developmental Research School in Florida. He was a defensive coordinator, and then he went to the New Jersey Dogs in the Arena Football League. Was a wide receiver and quality control coach, and then he was a Florida GA from 99 to 2000, so 2 years, and then he was at the Houston Texans on their inaugural staff as a defensive quality control coordinator, or defensive quality control. So he went from 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, he took the year off, and then 2002, he was the Houston Texans inaugural coach. So think about that. You went for 4 years from coaching in high school to being on an NFL staff, an absolutely huge jump there. We come over here to check it out. And again, like I said before, he was never really been anywhere for very long. Houston Texans for 2 years. Baltimore for 4. That's fair. And then Denver Broncos wide receiver for 1. Minnesota Golden Gophers offensive coordinator quarterback for 1. Seattle Seahawks quarterback coach for 1. We have Miami, Florida offensive coordinator quarterback coach for 2. We have Jacksonville Jaguars offensive coordinator for 2. We have Michigan's quarterback, wide receiver, and passing game coordinator for 2. We have UCLA's offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for 1. We have UCLA interim coach for literally 1 game. Your boy has 1 game of head coaching experience before he takes over for Arizona. But we're going to get to that because we got a couple more places we got to go. We got LA Rams senior offensive assistant for 1 year. LA Rams assistant offensive coordinator for 1 year. We have the 2000 2020 New England Patriots quarterback coach for 1 year. And then we have 2021 until now, Arizona's head coach. So like I said, he had literally, before he signed with Arizona, he had not even in high school, he had 1 year of head coaching experience. Not even 1 year, he had 1 game. And I think it's important to understand what he was taking over because Arizona has been a solid program in certain instances. So you come down here and check out Rich Rodriguez, had some success for where he was at. Mike Stoops did pretty good too. We come down here to Dick Tomey down here in the 90s and the late 2000s. He had a pretty solid time as well. But it just seems like ever since Rich Rodriguez left 7-6, they're ranked at 22nd, he ultimately decided to leave. Kevin Solomon comes in 5-7, 4-8, 0-5 in the 2020 shortened season. Jedd Fisch takes over for a team that hadn't won since 2019. He comes in, goes 1-11. Not very good. Then he goes 5-7. You're like, whoa, 5-7, 1-11 to 5-7, 5 times as many wins as the year before. That's because your boy has been doing a really, really good job of bringing in players and developing up a program, despite the fact that he really hasn't been able to really develop himself as a coach at a certain place for very much time. We come back to the fact that 2022 class, the class that 2 years ago was having this last year had their true freshman season. We got a couple of them. First of all, Tyroa McMillan had a really, really good season. This team right here, this recruiting class was the number 22 in the country. And I know you're thinking, what, number 22 class in the country? Who cares? Well, you got to care when you're 1-11 the year before. That was these players were signing with a team that was currently going 1-11. They signed in December. They signed in July, whatever the situation was, to a team that know, hey, last year, this team was trash. I'm going to turn around. And they did mostly, especially on one side of the ball. So in connection with, and I'll tell you the one thing about the transfer portal is you can turn your team around pretty quickly. Jaden DeLora was a quarterback, brought in. Now again, they went 5-7. They didn't have the season that they wanted to, but Jaden DeLora had 25 touchdowns, 13 picks. Come down here and check out their receivers. Dorian Singer was a freshman there. Now he did since transfer to USC, so he is no longer on the team. Jacob Cowing was a transfer from UTEP. Techaroa McMillan had 39 catches and 700 yards and 8 touchdowns as a freshman. You think that he's going to get some of those balls that Dorian Singer got. Dorian Singer got 66 catches. Jacob Cowing got 85. He's going to get a lot more targets this next upcoming season. Techaroa McMillan is. And you see the fact that, again, Jedd Fisch mostly has an offensive experience with what he's been doing, and he's been able to turn them around pretty well. Again, coming over his most recent stint before he was a head coach was offensive or quarterback coach for the New England Patriots, taking some of the things he's learned from every little spot and brought them over. And it's really interesting to see that because this next season, he's got an opportunity to start off pretty hot, but we're going to really see what the Jedd Fisch Arizona Wildcats are this next upcoming season. So this next upcoming season, we see here the Arizona Wildcats 2023 schedule. They start off home against Northern Arizona. They should win that game. Now, at Mississippi State, they are, according to the Football Power Index, they are not favored in that game. Would not be surprised if they lost that game, but UTEP at home and then at Stanford, which is kind of a toss-up. It is not unheard of here for them to go 3-1 in these games. It's certainly, I would say, a 25% chance they go 4-0. They go 4-0. It's really, really interesting considering the fact that this team is 1-11 the year before, 5-7 last year, and then this year they could start off 4-0. That's a crazy outcome. However, we see that at the end of September and to the end of the season, there is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight games that are going to really, really test them because they host number 2 offense in the country in the FBS last season, Washington home. Then they play at USC. Then they go up to Washington State, which is not an easy place to play. They play Oregon State after a bye week. Oregon State had one of their better seasons they've ever had last season. They have UCLA. Then they have at Colorado, and I have no idea what the hell to expect from Colorado. They have the Pac-12 bully Utah. They're going to play them at home, and then they have to visit Arizona State. So it's really interesting. I mean, again, like I said, 3-1's not out of the possibility. 4-1 is a slight chance, but then Washington at USC, at Washington State, at Oregon State at home, UCLA at home, at Colorado. We don't know what's going that game. That game could be easy. That game could be hard. We have no idea. The Pac-12 champ Utah playing at your place and then having to go visit your rival. Man, it's really interesting because Arizona, of all the teams to be talking about in July before the season starts, a 5-7 team. But when Jedd Fisch seems to have found his groove with where he's at, I'm telling you, you got to talk about them, man. Jedd Fisch has literally, like, he has no ties to any different place. He said he wanted to play. He went to Florida so he could be be on the Steve Spurrier coaching staff. He coached as a defensive quality assistant in high school one place, and then he was within a couple of years he was on the Houston Texans inaugural staff. He only had, before he took over at Arizona, he had one single game of head coaching experience in his entire career. However, just signed a 5-star player from Tucson, Arizona. Looks like he's doing a pretty good job out there. And again, was able to beat Georgia, Miami, Michigan, all those big teams. What Jedd Fisch has done, 1-11 his first year, not very well. Then 5-7, 5 times as many wins that next season. I don't think he's going to get 5 times as many wins this next season. He's not going to get 25 wins. However, I think that a 7-5, 8-4 season would be absolutely shocking. This team is a team to watch out for. Do I think they're going to go? I'm betting on 7-5, maybe 6-6. But I'm telling you, the Arizona Wildcats, one of those teams that you don't really pay attention to up until they turn it around, and Jedd Fisch has the team trending in the right direction. Guys, get in the comments right now. What do you think about Jedd Fisch? Personally, I think like I said before, I think that he's doing some good things. Can he keep this momentum up? 1-11 to 5-7 this next season. 8-4. We talking 7-5, going 6-6. You guys get in the comments right now and let me know what you guys think. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all that stuff. I really appreciate it. That's it for me, guys. I'll see you guys later. I am out.